Hello, everybody. It's good to see you all again. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have something very serious to talk to you about, and I'm glad that you all are here watching this live. Some of you are going to be watching this later on or in the next few days to come, but the message is very relative, and it's something that I believe that's going to help you along the way. Thank you all for being with me tonight on this Friday night. I want to thank you all for watching my post earlier in terms of the warnings about the couch. And tonight, so many people will be on the couch tonight. And if you've already seen that video, you already know what I had to say about that. So I thank you again for watching that. Relationships are tough. Relationships are tough, whether you're married or you're single. Relationships can be tough. But I know that, especially for those of you who are single, a lot of times you end up falling into traps. When you're vulnerable, a lot of things can happen. We've all been vulnerable at times, and when you're vulnerable, you do things or you allow certain things to happen that you don't intend to happen. When you're vulnerable, you also are get to the point where your guard is not up like it should be, and certain things that you would normally catch fall by the wayside, and you often get caught up. But again, I want to talk to you tonight about, are you good for only one time? Single-use items are disposable. That's what I want to talk about tonight. There are many items that you can purchase from the store that are reusable. And then there are certain items you can purchase that are only intended for one use. They're intended for a single use, so you use it one time and you throw it away. Some single-use items, disposable items, are, diapers, paper towels, wet wipes, cotton swabs, paper cups, paper plates, contact lenses, dryer sheets, bottled water, disposable cameras. All of these things were created for the purpose of being used one time and then to be thrown away and discarded. There are also single-use devices used in healthcare. These single-use devices also are called disposable devices. They are designed to be used on one patient and then discarded. Not reprocessed, meaning it can't be cleaned, disinfected, or sterilized for use on another patient. The item is to be used one time and one time only, and to be thrown away. Check this. These single-use items or devices can't be used again because they are not heat tolerant and cannot be reliably cleaned. All right, now we're going to go somewhere. Church folks, hang in there because we're going to get a little rough here. It's going to get rough right here. A condom. A condom is made for a single use. It's only intended to be used one time. It is used by those whose purpose of the contraception is for those who just want a one-time transaction. They're not looking to birth anything. You missed it. I'm already heated up already. Those that use condoms are not looking to birth anything. And it could be for many reasons. It could be, I'm not interested. The time is not right. I have other responsibilities. I'm not that into you. I just want a one-time transaction, and I don't want to birth anything in your life. I don't want to be connected to anything that has to do with creating something. So I'm using this contraceptive disposable device to do what I need to do, throw it in the trash. Hopefully I can throw that memory in the trash and to keep it moving. Guess what? There are only people who have been in your life who only consider you as a single-use disposable item. Yeah, there are people who have looked at you, they've checked you out, they've assessed you, and they have decided that you are not something that they want, somebody that they want to keep. You're somebody that they do not want to be committed to you. You are as far as they're concerned, you are a single-use disposable item. And it's our job, it's your job, to try to weed through that before you find yourself in a lot of mistakes, giving people something that has eternal value. Again, we've talked about soul ties. When you connect by soul ties, this is an eternal thing. This is a deep thing. And again, you cannot give it to a one transaction brother. You can't do it. You shouldn't do it. I don't care what these love songs say in terms of what your body needs, and all these shows that we watch with this garbage where these women are hooking up with these men. Oh, baby, it's time for me to get mine. I've been working hard all month. I haven't been laid in such a long time. I'm going to go ahead on and get mine. All of that is foolishness, and it's a trick of the enemy, because it's not just that one transaction when it comes to your soul. When it comes to your body, okay, boom. But now your soul is connected, and now you have a whole bunch of other problems. So you want to make sure that you are actively praying and seeking and being watchful. And again, you can how you can tell an item, and this is from their standpoint. When you go in the store, how you can tell an item is a reusable product versus a disposable product is the way that it's packaged and manufactured. You missed it. You missed it. Let me say it again. The way you can tell that an item is a disposable item or an item that is to be reused, it is the way that the item is packaged. Quality stuff goes in items that are reusable, but things that are intended for one use only, they're lighter. Oh, you missed it. You missed it. So people have already assessed. They say, okay, this person, they don't have any depth to them. They're light. They feel light in my hands. I'm not going to give them anything substantive from me, and I don't look at them anything as a person of substance. They're light in my hands. They're cheaply made. They're crafted crappy. There's nothing there. So what I'm going to do is open the package up, get my one intended use out, and destroy and throw it away. When I was out there, I used to look through my phone book for single-use folks. Oh, Lord, I'm preaching. Single-use folks who I could call, who were not going to be a lot of maintenance, who were going to say yes to the things that I wanted them to say yes to, who were not looking for a relationship or commitment, people that I could immediately, who I could immediately just go to and they would automatically say yes. So I'll be looking, okay, who can I call? Let me go through here and see who I can call. What female has packaged herself as a single-use item where I can save my money and my resources? Those were things that I was looking at, and that was the wrong way to treat people. It's a horrible way to be treated. Many of us have been treated that way. Many of us men have been treated that way from women. These women take us out, or we take them out, and we pay for everything, knowing good and well they don't want us, or they ain't really feeling us, or they're kind of on the borderline, or they're on the rebound, or they're trying to use us like methadone, like a drug, to escape a drug, and trying to get over their love, the person that they really love. So they'll use us and spend all of our money and resources, and then later on they'll be like, okay, I'm not really feeling you, or I'm not ready for a relationship at this time. The person who thinks you're disposable thinks of you this way. They don't think there is any lasting quality in you, and that's why you're discarded. If you allow a man to lie down with you before he really gets to know you, check this. Since you have the same body part as any other woman, he doesn't know anything unique or specific about you or anything special about you, to him, you are a disposable item. Lord have mercy, I'm trying to help somebody. You missed it. I watched a show called Forensic Files, and I love this show. I watch it for many reasons, and it helps me to craft sermons. It helps me to put things together. And this is a show that proves that there is no such thing as a perfect crime, because each crime scene is investigated. While they're investigating each crime scene, they realize that criminals leave something behind. In many of these real life episodes, often someone is killed and disposed of like a disposable single-use item. This is the danger. This is very serious. Many times girls and young women and women in general are used for a one-time sex application and buried in the woods somewhere. They're discarded like disposable items after one use. As I watch these shows, I realized the single-use disposable pattern has been going on since the beginning of man. Check this out. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4 for a minute, because I want to point out some things to you. This is going to be deep. This is going to be deep. I hope you're ready for this tonight. Genesis 4 says, "Now Adam knew his wife, Eve his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord. And again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a worker of the ground. In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground." Stay with me. I'm telling you, this is going to blow you away. "And Abel also brought the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but not for Cain and his offering. He had no regard for Cain and his offering. And Cain became very angry. And the Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry? Why is your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it." Check this. "Cain spoke to Abel his brother, and when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother and killed him." Okay. As I watch these shows, I realize that we've seen over and over again men using women for sex, and they end up killing them and putting their bones, hiding their bones in the ground and what have you. And I often thought, every time I see that, it's the same thing. The process goes, and it's been happening since the beginning of man. When I look at this, I realized the first time that this was done. And this was, of course, in Genesis with Cain and Abel. Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain was a worker of the ground. Cain and Abel chose their own occupations. Okay, I'm getting ready to put this together for you. They chose their occupation. So people, before I give that revelation, let me go forward more. The Bible says in the process of time, or in the course of time, meaning that after they made some improvement to the respective callings, both of them brought forth an offering. The enemy will only send people whose occupation is not connected to atonement. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's Cain. Because that's Cain right there. Sheep and animals were used for atonement. Cain's occupation was a tiller of the ground, so no matter what he grew, it couldn't be used for atonement, so he was not connected to a life-giving substance for atonement. So the Lord had regard for Abel's offering, but he didn't have regard for Cain's offering. Ladies, the enemy knows many of you are trying your best to keep your bodies so that your offering can be accepted by God, and the enemy is wroth and he hates it. Cain hated his brother, and he decided that his brother Abel was only going to be a single-use item. Oh, Lord have mercy. Check this. To God, Abel was a person that could be in fellowship with him. God many times, with God many times, and for many years. But to Cain, Abel was only a disposable item, and by killing Abel, he made sure that the offering that he made to God was, get this, was only a one-time transaction. Since the beginning of time, because of sin, people get their one use out of us. And when they're done with us, they stick us in the ground. Many people look at you and they have decided before they even speak to you, that you are only going to be a single-use item. So their plan is to get you in the field like Cain did Abel and kill you. How many Cains is it going to take to know that Cain's spirit is after your offering? What is your offering? It is your body. Your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost. That's your offering. And the Cain spirit that is walking this earth is wrath. And Cain's spirit is out to get you, take your offering from you, and stick you in the ground. To Abel, Abel considered his offering as worship. Cain considered his offering as a chore. To Abel, his sacrifice was a unique way to atone for his sins and get closer to God. To Cain, it was just another chore. Check this. Here we go. I'm going to go somewhere. In terms of dating, watch this. Abel took the best of animals to sacrifice. Ladies, when a man thinks highly of you, and he thinks of you more than just a disposable piece, he is going to seek out to give you his best. Oh, I hope you're getting this tonight. This is deep stuff. Check this. Abel had to run around to catch these animals that he was going to sacrifice. That took work. Ladies, a man who thinks of you more than a disposable item won't mind putting in the extra work to chase you to get your attention. Oh, Lord have mercy. I hope y'all are with me tonight. Cain wasn't interested in chasing anything for God. He was only interested in he wasn't interested in going out of his way for God. He chose plant life because he knew where the plant life was going to be. It wasn't going to be moving anywhere. It was stuck in one place. And get this, the plant life came from the ground. So when he was finished with it, he put it right back from where he got it from. Oh. Well, what does that mean in terms of dating? What does that mean in terms of you as a woman and how you think of yourself and how what you allow people to do sometimes is what you think of yourself. When you have low self-esteem, you are like those plants. You're in one place. You're not movable. You're not doing anything. So it's easy for a Cain to come along. They don't have to put any effort because they know where you're going to be. You're stuck in one spot. I'm telling you, boy, the revelation is coming forth. I hope you get this. You're stuck in one spot. Cain knows exactly where to get you because you're not doing anything. You're sulking over the last person that planted you. Oh, no, you missed it. You're caught up in that. You haven't moved. You're not moving on. God is trying to move you on and to help make you an offering that is a part of God's sweet-smelling Savior, and you're in one place. So Cain knows exactly where to go and grab you to do what he needs to do. And when he's done with you, you already know what's going to happen. The Cains in your life will expose themselves because of their occupation. Oh. Y'all gonna have to replay this because I don't even know if you're really getting it. And how you can tell, because their occupation can only create things that are not attached to atonement. Cain committed first-degree murder. It was willful and it was premeditated. And many of the people that have come into your life have committed first-degree murder because it was willful. They knew from the jump they didn't want you, and it was premeditated. Do you know that in the court of law, the hardest punishment is given to those who are proven to commit first-degree murder? In this episode of Forensic Files, there was this police officer. He was dirty. He was really dirty. They found this car on the side of the road. It was a woman had left this car. It was a Jeep on the side of the road. It was dark. The Jeep was still running, but they couldn't find her. They searched in the woods, and eventually they found her. She had been murdered. They took footprints from the footprints at the crime scene, dusted for prints, looked for all of that. And they discovered from the footprint that this particular shoe was a shoe that was issued to police officers. Check this out. This police officer, they found out that the size of this shoe was 8.5. Now check this out. This guy's a police officer, and his shoe size was 8.5. Now I'm a short guy, and I wear 10.5. So if you're gonna do a crime, and you're a police officer, they give you these issued shoes here. Make sure your foot is not. If your foot is 8.5, you don't need to commit a crime, because they can easily find you out of the rest of the police officers. They can easily find you. There was only 2 people on the squad there who wore 8.5 shoes, and they could tell by the call logs because somebody had stopped this officer to ask for directions, and he called on his cell phone to try to help get this person a tow truck. They needed a tow truck, and so they were able to track his phone to that very place where that young lady was found. The same thing with this situation with Cain. And again, what happened with this police officer is he was attracted to this girl. He'd been watching her for quite some time. She worked at a strip club. He had followed her, pulled her over. She did nothing on the road, pulled her over, and had her come sit in his car. And when he tried to make a move, she wasn't for it, and she jumped out of the car, and he chased her and killed her before anything happened. But in terms of sexual, but he killed her. But in terms of the Cain situation, God had already saw the things that Cain had left at the crime scene, and that was and God had called out to Cain and said, "What is it that you've done? I've seen I've seen the blood of your brother, going into the ground and what have you." And of course, Cain was cursed and what have you. But the people that have done you wrong, they have left something at the crime scene. Oh. Either if it's not their footprint, it's their fingerprints. If it's not their fingerprints, it's their palm print. If it's not their palm print and it's not their shoe print, your foot, actually, your naked foot has a print on it. It's your footprint. And God sees, He knows, He hears, and He cares. And everyone that has tried to use you as a single-use item and made you disposable and tried to murder you, they are going to have to pay for the first crime, for that crime that they have committed of first-degree murder, first degree of your self-esteem, first-degree murder of your self-worth, first-degree murder of your spirit, first-degree murder of where you were in God before they came and tried to use you as a disposable, one-use item. Ladies, I'm telling you, it's time to be very cautious, to be very serious. Watch who you entertain. The Bible had mentioned in terms also, Cain had actually taken Abel out into the field to get him by himself, to kill him. In many of these forensic shows, they take these women somewhere alone, and they try, and when they get them alone, they try to kill them. A banana, picture a banana that's by itself, and then picture a banana that's in that cluster of bananas. And then picture a peeled banana. A peeled banana would have never been peeled if it would have stayed with the bunch. Oh, Lord have mercy. Y'all gonna have to replay this. A peeled banana would have never been peeled if it would have stayed with the bunch. That's I'm saying that to say that while you are single, especially when you know you're vulnerable, keep yourself around a lot of people. Keep yourself around people. Keep yourself busy. Keep yourself active. Because if you get alone, that's when the spirit of Cain can come and single you out and take you somewhere. Oh, Lord have mercy. God is speaking tonight through this word for you. I want you to remember that. And even in the physical, God forbid if this happens, if somebody takes a knife or a gun to you and they tell you to, drive somewhere or get somewhere, you're going to have to just go by faith, do whatever you're going to do right here, because you already know what the end of the story is going to be. If they're taking you somewhere to take from you the single doses that you would take from a single product, usable product, and then they're going to dispose of you. Going somewhere is not going to keep you from being harmed. It's quite the opposite. Ladies, you have something physically in your bodies, that the enemy wants. You have something spiritually in your bodies that the enemy wants. And you are going to have to be a guarder of your temple. You're going to have to be careful. You're going to have to really assess those that only see you as a single-use disposable item. You'll know the difference because it'll be the way they even tear the package open. Oh, a disposable thing, you just strip the thing, you don't care. But something that is not disposable, it comes in a leather case. Let me see if I can throw the case. It comes, in a nice case, and you unzip it, and you can use it for future things. And when you're done, put it back and then reuse it again. But anything disposable, you just tear that deal open. That spirit, that Cain spirit, is going to tell on itself. But you've got to give it time for it to expose itself, for it to manifest itself. I promise you, if you give it time, that Cain spirit will expose itself. And you'll know right then, this person thinks that I'm a disposable item. You ought to be insulted. That's why when you have pictures of yourself with your body parts showing or your hind parts showing on Facebook, and some guys are making comments, and you already know the difference between somebody saying, this is nice or whatever, but they're underhandedly saying giving you a compliment, and you know exactly where the compliment is coming from. What in the world are you saying thank you for? You saying thank you is saying thank you for looking at me as a disposable item. You ought to be insulted. That ought to make you upset. And that should immediately take them off the list. Be careful of the Cain spirit. It's time for you to realize what the Cain spirit is, realize what the Cain spirit purpose is, and realize who you are and who God made you to be. Don't do it anymore. Don't allow anybody to treat you as a disposable item.